This will be your most important piece of gear in the coming year. The humble calendar of all things. The reason people don't make the music they want to make is because they act like amateurs. They treat it as optional. Today we're going to talk about why every musician needs to act like a professional. And that starts with respecting your time and investing it wisely. And at the end, I'll share my number one scheduling tip for skyrocketing your musical progress, even if you don't think you have time for music. This video goes live on Christmas Day. That's just the way the scheduling worked out. I hope you got something amazing, something that gets you excited about making music in the coming year, or at least a wad of cash that you can go spend at Sweetwater or Home Studio Corner. But whatever it is, I hope you're excited about making music. And what I'm going to share today is arguably the most important advice I could give you for your music. And it's sadly advice that most people will ignore. Here's the premise. If you aren't making the music you were born to make, it's likely because you're acting like an amateur. But Joe, I am an amateur. I'm not trying to make a living doing music. It doesn't matter. If you want professional results, start acting like a pro. Today, I want to share 3 specific things you can do to professionalize your music making. Thing number 1, professionals take themselves seriously. Walk up to Butch Vig or Rick Rubin and say, "Gee, Butch, you think you might make some music this year?" He'll say, "Of course I am." He'll say, "That's what I do." Could you say the same? If you don't take your music seriously, who will? Think of it in terms of investing. You've got raw material, raw talent. You've spent money on equipment and software. What returns are you getting on that investment? How are you stewarding that talent? You could go so far as to say this is a calling, a responsibility, a duty to make music. Here's a big myth. If you take it seriously, it won't be fun anymore. You know what's not fun? Going another year without releasing any music. You know what's fun? Making music. If you and I ever get the chance to make music together, the first thing you'll notice is we have a lot of fun in the studio. There is always lots of laughter and silliness because making music is so much fun. I would argue that it's only fun if you take it seriously. Because if you don't take it seriously, a lot of times it never happens. Thing number 2, professionals schedule their studio time. Let's talk about intentions versus real life for a second. If you walk up to me and say, "I intend to make great music," I'll say, "That's great. When? When you going to make it?" By the way, there's only one good answer to that question. Tuesday. Or maybe Saturday. Until your intentions make it all the way onto your calendar, they're not real. Real life happens in real time. Everything I do in my life has a timestamp on it. Sadly, I am stuck inside this space-time continuum. I can't get outside of it. So everything has a timestamp, and everything I want to do needs a timestamp. In other words, I can't do anything outside of time, so I might as well schedule time for the things I really want to get done. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You can't schedule creativity. Oh boy. First of all, how's that working out for you? Second of all, when's the last time you attended a concert? Did they give you a date and a time to attend the concert? Yeah, you can schedule creativity. Whew, man, I am getting spicy. I'm not mad at you. I just feel so passionately that this is so important. And I'm hoping at least one person gets it and goes off and makes a bunch of music in the next year. All right. Thing number 3, professionals use deadlines. This is similar to number 2. And the common response is, "Oh, Joe, I'm just doing this for fun. I don't need a deadline." Bullcrap. Seth Godin, famous marketer, says it's not art unless it's shipped. For us musicians, that means it's not music until it's finished, until it's released to the world. Now, you can disagree with that all you want, But if you want to make music, then you have to finish it or you've never made music. And if you want to finish it, it needs a deadline. I don't love deadlines, but also I love deadlines because they work. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like what you see here, please be sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you're a home studio musician who's frustrated with the quality of your mixes, if you've got all this great music in you, but you can't seem to get your mixes to sound like they do in your head, I can help. I've been a recording coach since 2009. After mixing hundreds of songs over the years, I developed a simple 5-step process that I use every time I mix. It's not a paint-by-number system. It's a mixing philosophy that ensures that you focus on the right things in the right order. One of the biggest mistakes people make in their mixes is focusing too much on the wrong things. Once you fix your focus, your mixes start to come together so much easier. You'll actually enjoy your mixes and be excited to share them with your friends. If that sounds good to you, I'd love to give you a free copy of my 5-step mix guide. You can download it at 5stepmix.com. Okay, let me share with you my number one scheduling tip for skyrocketing your musical progress, even if you don't think you have time for music. So here it is. It's simple. Most people are going to ignore it, but not you, right? Right? You with me? Okay, here it is. Schedule 2 hours per week for music. If you want to whittle that down a little bit, make hour 1 about learning, watching YouTube, learning from someone's course, just educating yourself, especially if you're early in the process and you need to lay a foundation and learn the fundamentals. Hour 1, dedicated to learning. Hour 2, making music. Learn for an hour, do for an hour. Let that be your starting point. Now, maybe you have unlimited time and you're spending 40 hours a week on music. Great. Most people aren't. Most people whine to me that they don't have time. So this is a minimum, a starting point. I would wager you'll get more out of doing 2 hours per week for 5 weeks than a single 10-hour day. It's the same number of hours, but you'll get more out of that weekly rhythm than you will out of a random sprint on a random Saturday. Why? One word: momentum. So we want to create a lifestyle of making music. So it makes sense that we want to make it a part of our weekly routine, our weekly schedule. Before you tell me you don't have 2 hours to give, 2 questions. 1, how many hours per week do you spend watching TV? Go ahead, calculate it. 2, what's your screen time on your phone? Mine pops up every Sunday at like 9 a.m. and tells me how many hours I spent on that device. Here's an idea. Take 2 of those hours, 1 from each. 1 hour of TV, 1 hour of screen time on your phone, scrolling endlessly on social media, not accomplishing anything, and reallocate those 2 hours to your studio. I guarantee your music life could be changed forever with that one move. All right, that wraps up this video, which happens to be the final video of 2024. Thank you for being around. If you're not subscribed, please do. I got a lot of big plans happening in the coming year. You're going to want to be subscribed for that. Also, if you missed this video, about 10 years of mixing advice in 10 minutes, my reaction to the In the Mix video, it's very meta, but it's pretty great. Go check that out now. Thanks for watching. See you in the new year.